For example, in science, it says that the Earth, the Sun, there's a particular place in the world where there is a rising place of the Sun. There's some other place in the world where there is a setting place of the Sun. We know this is just bonkers, this is just junk. The Quran also claims that God destroyed many nations when they did not receive Islam in the past, pre-Islam. We know this is junk also. There is no such God who interacted and destroyed nations because people did not receive Islam. So according to this, it says first bones are formed, according to the Quran. First bones are formed and then flesh, like the flesh is formed around the bones. It's almost like, you think, if I am making you like a statue, and of course what is internal to you are your bones, structural. So maybe I make your bones first and then try to, give flesh to you on top. So that's what I would do if I'm doing you like that. But that's not how embryos are formed. So this is a basic mistake. Hello, my dear friend. Are you a Muslim? Please come here, sir. My name is Arul. Hello. Good to see you. What's your name?
Ardam.
Adam?
Yeah, Ardam. Yeah.
Ardam?
Yeah.
Where are you from, Adam?
Turkey.
Turkey?
Yeah.
Adam, my name is Arul. I'm originally from India. I'm based in the UK right now. I am now discussing the question of which God is true. Who is the true God? God of the Bible is Yehovah, Jesus. God of the Quran is the Islamic Allah. I have reasons to claim that God of the Bible is God, truly the creator, truly God.
So you're saying that the Bible, God is the true one?
Is the true one. And I have reasons to think that the Quran could not have been from even a knowledgeable person, human being, let alone God. That's my challenge. So please help. That's the conversation I'd really like to have quickly.
I think I don't have enough level to talk with you about these situations because I'm here to learn also.
Sure.
So
But we can have a friendly discussion.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. For instance, the Quran makes fundamental mistakes in science, in history, for example, in science, it says that the Earth, the Sun, there's a particular place in the world where there is a rising place of the Sun. There's some other place in the world where there is a setting place of the Sun. We know this is just bonkers, this is just junk. Likewise, the Quran also claims that there are rising and setting places of planets. This is just junk. This is terrible cosmology. The Quran says that if you don't have water, you can wipe your face with soil. And it says that's cleaning your face. We know that is just junk. This is, any modern, person who understands science will ridicule these ideas. The Quran claims that the Quran attempts to give details of embryology. We know the details it gives, junk again. So plenty of mistakes. Any number of times when it speaks about science, when it gets to any level of detail, we understand it is wrong. That's science, not just science. When it comes to history, the Quran has all sorts of fantastic claims about history. The only problem is all of them are wrong. All of them, would you believe, are wrong. The Quran, for instance, claims that that across the world, people such as nations such as Turkey, Egypt, Libya, all of these. I come from India. Nations across the world received an Islamic messenger, the Quran claims, in people's mother tongues. So the Quran claims across the world, different nations had different Islamic messengers, pre-Islam, pre-7th century, different messengers who proclaimed Islam in their own mother tongues. We know this is utter junk. There was no Islam proclaimed in Turkey pre-Islam. There was no Islam proclaimed in Iran pre-Islam, in Iraq pre-Islam, in Algeria pre-Islam, in the Western world, in Italy pre-Islam. No such. This is just junk. Absolutely junk. The Quran also claims that God destroyed many nations when they did not receive Islam in the past, pre-Islam. We know this is junk also. There is no such God who interacted and destroyed nations because people did not receive Islam. All of these are fundamental claims about Islam in relation to history. We know this is just junk. Most importantly, for example, even at the origin of Islam, it claims that the Mecca should have been an Islamic place of worship. The Meccans disagreed. They said in Surah 2, Ayah 114, they said no Islamic Allah here. We don't do Islamic Allah here. That's why they prevented in the 7th century when Muslims claimed, the early Muslims, Muhammad and his entourage claimed, hey look, this building should belong to them, to us. They said no. That's why they were prevented entry into that building. So everything about Islam, about the Quran, not Islam, about the Quran is wrong. Science, history, logic, basic logical mistakes. The Quran claims just because this is good literary work, which is so, historically not true, but even if you assume it is true for a moment, just because a good is a good literary work doesn't mean it has to be from God.
Like as I told you, I don't have enough knowledge for that, but I think...
But this particular question, you don't need knowledge of Quran. I'm asking you, just because, for example, in Turkey, Turkish, just because, in Turkish, you have literature,
Yeah, of course.
Just because a literature is good literature, doesn't mean it is from God.
I think so. It's not also like you're saying that there are some mistakes in it.
No, I'm not talking about mistakes. Good quality literature. Like good, using good eloquent language.
Yeah.
Just because you speak good eloquent language doesn't mean it is from God.
So it's a hard question, but
it's a very easy question.
It's not. It's
a very easy question.
Easy, but in my English level, it's not so easy to explain.
I'll give you a simple example. In English, there are literatures such as Shakespeare's works.
Yeah, of course.
Marvelous English literature.
More poetic, but not logical.
Yeah, I mean, just because something is good, excellent English literature, it doesn't mean it is from God.
Okay,
it's simple logical question.
I think it's okay, but inside the meanings and the things that you said, the history and science, there are lots of also true ones, and I think all of them are true.
Which of them? I gave you plenty of mistakes.
Embryo, you said which process is wrong in the embryo?
According to the Quran, Quran's embryology, first of all, it gives details about embryology in a few different places, and it contradicts each other, first of all. Second of all, in one of the places, it actually says, according to Quranic embryology, the bones come first, and then flesh. This is bonkers.
Like
this is just junk.
If I know it's 100%, I will tell you something, but I don't know it. So
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So you don't know, but I'm telling you.
it.
but the point is, I can show you if you like for now. The point is, Quran's embryology is just junk. It's just junk.
I need to make a research about it.
Sure.
So,
You need to.
Like I need to check some research, like the sources. So if I convince about them, it will be fine. But in my research level, I'm not so high of it. So I think it's correct. But I need to make a research about it.
No. When you don't know, you can neither say it is right nor wrong.
Yeah, it's
Can I show you what it says?
Yeah.
And let's go through it. Yeah. So Surah 23, ayats 12 to 14. So if we go here, sorry. Surah 23. Do you see that? Ayat 12 to 14. Surah 23. And certainly we did create man from an extract of
Okay,
clay.
so everybody knows 13 is the first one that is easily known.
Sure. Then we placed him as a sperm drop in a firm lodging. Then we made the sperm drop into a clinging clot. So it claims sperm, when it fertilizes, becomes a blood clot. Is that true?
I have no idea about this.
Okay,
actually.
I can show you human embryology.
What does clot mean?
When blood comes out, if I have a cut, if blood comes out, it solidifies.
It's dry,
Dries, yeah. So that's a clot. So that's human embryology, development.
Yes.
Fertilized egg, 2 cell. When it fertilizes, it forms what is called a zygote.
Yeah.
And then it divides one cell, divides into 2 cells. 2 cells divide into 4, and then 8, and so on. And then you have fetus like that in 5 weeks.
Okay.
And then, do you see a stage where it's a blood clot? Is there a blood clot phase?
As an explanation, no.
No, there's no blood clot. anyone who thinks sperm and ovum come together to form a blood clot doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue about embryology. But, this could very well be from a person who clearly doesn't understand science, who is maybe looking at things that he observes externally. And of course, when it comes to reproductive organs, we have, women have, the menstruation and, time when blood comes out. So clearly he is thinking, maybe this has something to do with blood and so on. So people can make mistakes when they don't know science. That's the kind of mistake we're dealing with here. So what does it say? Sperm in a firm lodging, and it says sperm drop into a clinging clot, blood clot.
Okay.
Wrong. And then it goes on. And we made the clot into a lump, meaning lump of flesh. And we made the lump bones. And we covered the bones with flesh. So according to this, it says first bones are formed, according to the Quran. First bones are formed, and then flesh, like the flesh is formed around the bones. It's almost like, you think, if I'm making you like a statue, and of course what is internal to you are your bones, structural. So maybe I make your bones first and then try to, give flesh to you on top. So that's what I would do if I'm doing you like that. But that's not how embryos are formed. So this is a basic mistake. Except, clearly, even you in the 21st century, you haven't studied to check if it is true. So we can imagine how in the 7th century Arabia, people did not take the trouble to check. And they thought, hey, look, this is marvelous science. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So that's a mistake in science. It is not just this. Like I said earlier.
As you said, I cannot say it's right, and I can say it's wrong. So I need to check it by myself and make a research about
Please.
it.
And
so
this is where I showed you both embryonic development.
Like, you're right. Like if I need to make a comment on this section, I need to study on the biology. So it's not so easy because it says some details.
But
maybe in
study.
that part there's about something about the blood.
Please do study.
Yeah, of course.
What I'm showing you here is popular science. When I say popular science,
without learning, we will.
You study this in schooling
yeah,
here.
Of course, but
secondary
it's not in the details.
So
yeah,
it's not easy, and you might have forgotten. You might have studied a long time ago.
It was so previously.
But when you go home, please study this in detail. I'm showing you, and I'm telling you this is wrong.
Of course, we will check
based on my study. So please study. So what did I say? Science mistakes.
Yeah.
Basic mistakes. Is there a setting place of sun in the world anywhere? If I need to go to the setting place of the sun, where do I go in the world?
The setting place? What do you mean by
of the sun?
The sun, yeah.
Where does the sun set? Is there a particular place where the sun sets? If I showed you Google Maps, will you be able to tell me where the sun sets?
It's according to Earth's motion, yeah?
Yeah, according to motion. But if I showed you, so this is of course the UK map of UK. But if I ask you, please, can you help me understand where does the sun set? Is there a particular place you can point out to?
Isn't the specific position? It will be west and the east.
Yeah, it's just directions. There's no place. But Surah 18 actually describes how Dhul-Qarnayn went one way and he arrived at this setting place of the sun. Near that there was a village and he had an interaction there. And then he left that place, went the other way and arrived at the setting place of rising place of the sun, near which apparently there is a village. So according to the Quran, these are two specific villages by which there are rising and setting places of sun. Yeah. This is just junk. People.
Maybe it was about like hidden somethings about literature. It's saying something, but it's not actually saying this.
You see the problem with this? The problem with this is across the Islamic world, you think the Quran is from God because of science. So in other words, you are depending on the scientific claims. But the scientific claims suddenly, now we have to say, well, they're not scientific, they are maybe poetry. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Except in this case, it is meant to be literal because it is describing events. Dhul-Qarnayn goes to a place, he sees it set in a setting place, near which there was a village, a specific village. Yeah. And then he goes the other way and goes to the rising place near which there was a particular village. So this is a historical event according to the Quran.
Yeah.
You see, so these are specific, literal places.
Yeah.
So the Quran makes fundamental mistakes. And so I'd like to comment to you that the Quran could not be from God. Could not be from God. Whoever produced the Quran is not just not God, but is also someone who doesn't even know basic science,
Okay, so if
basic history.
Yeah, of course. But if you are living in the 6th century, how you can just randomly just how can I say explain the process of the embryo? It's correct or not? Like you are sitting in the 6th century and just sitting in the the garden, and you will say, let's write something about the embryo process, or just let's say the universe is expanding, and it's correct about as a real science.
No.
It's
The
also
Quran
expanding.
doesn't-
Yeah.
No. Let's stick to embryology. Please make note.
Yeah, no, I don't know about the
You know what the
details
Quran
about
says? The Quran speaks about sperm.
Yeah.
The Quran speaks about, it says fluid. It doesn't know about ovum.
Yeah.
It says fluid. These are things that human beings could see.
Of
You know,
course,
when
I
it comes
understand,
to physical intimacy, people can see some of these details.
Yeah.
And so you don't need a 6th century person with some intelligent brain to talk about this. Any human being would have observed some basic details. Blood somehow related to blood somehow. And then the fact that we have bones, the fact that we have flesh, that doesn't take any much intelligence, except the fact that he makes tremendous mistakes tell us he is not even capable of a simple conversation, simple, scientific claim. But this is a fellow who doesn't understand basic science. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So the Quran could not be from God. Talk about history. The Quran's history, claims of history, is just bonkers. It is wrong. Junk. Did Turkey have an Islamic messenger pre-Islam in Turkish language?
No, we didn't have it.
No. The Quran claims across the world, all people in their native tongues received an Islamic messenger. It's junk.
Yeah, we have actually, but not on the Ottoman Empire. In the history, it's not
Pre-Islam.
pre-Islam.
The Quran's claim is all nations across the world in their mother tongues received an Islamic messenger.
What does it
and
say?
The Quran claims across the world, every nation has its appointed time, and at its appointed
It says
time,
every nation has their own prophets. Like something
every
like
nation, exactly.
I don't know where this says that.
This is the fundamental tenet in Islam.
No, in my country it's not actually.
Yeah. No, it's there in the Quran. I can show you where it is. Surah Al-Anam. Have you read Surah Al-Anam? Surah Al-Anam speaks about this. By the way, this is a book I have written on Islam, so let me one second.
Huh?
Assalamu alaikum. What's the topic?
Huh?
What is the
The
topic?
topic is the mistakes in the Quran. It's not the word of God, it says.
And what is the word of God? If the Quran is not the word of God, what is?
He says own things that he's saying, that everything is like junk. Like you say, embryo process is not correct.
Everything is junk.
The
What?
science, theology, science is not correct also, he says.
Science is not correct?
Yeah, it's not, Quran is not same with the science. It's mistakes he
No,
says.
but science do not agree in the miraculous birth of Jesus.
Yeah, he
Does
says-
Yeah, but science don't agree with that. Most science will tell you Jesus does not have a miraculous birth. Science will not
Adam,
agree in the resurrection
Please
of
listen
Jesus.
to me. This guy,
Yeah, I think so
this
too.
guy,
Exactly. So what happened
This
to
guy-
science then? Most
guy-
scientists are atheists.
Yeah,
So science doesn't prove that the Quran being wrong.
yeah, I think so. Same.
The
too,
Quran
but,
proves science wrong.
Yes.
Adam, please listen. Please listen. The gentleman standing next to you is utterly clueless. He comes here every week. He has been here for many years. Yet he can't make sense. I'll demonstrate that to you.
But I think every idea is
One second,
valuable. Yeah,
one second. I'll clarify, because he thinks he has made an intelligent point, but he hasn't. I'll clarify what that is. He said, when I presented details about embryology and said the Quran's embryology is junk, I gave you contra evidence that contradicts. Now you said you'll go home and check.
It's
No,
needs to be checked. So you must be studying on the biology to say
absolutely,
something, yeah.
you need to. That is why I didn't force that upon you. I said I've shown you. When you go home, you can check.
Yeah.
But what did the gentleman?
Science doesn't
What did
judge
the?
the Quran.
What did the gentleman say?
Science doesn't judge the Bible.
What did the gentleman say?
Science don't.
What did the gentleman say?
The revelation
What did the
judges
gentleman say?
science.
What did the gentleman say? The gentleman, if science contradicts what some book is claiming, if science contradicts, clearly that book is wrong.
No, science is wrong. Science contradict
I'm
the
sp-
miraculous
speaking-
birth of Jesus.
Adam, please.
Science contradict the resurrection.
Adam, I'm
Yeah.
speaking.
of Jesus.
Please, could I?
So then science
Adam,
right then.
Adam, I'm speaking to you.
Science don't believe in it.
Please, Adam, please, I'm speaking to you. Please focus on me.
But it's a group
Here
conversation.
is where
It's a group
I'm speaking to
conversation.
you. Here is where, please pay attention right now. There is nothing in science that contradicts a virgin birth of Jesus. Nothing. What in science? Is there a law that says virgin birth God can't achieve? Is there any such
It's
law?
not scientific.
Scientific law?
It's not scientific.
It's,
It's
like,
not scientific.
It's like a miracle of the God.
Exactly.
Exactly.
God
It's
can
not
perform.
scientific. Which
God-
scientist agrees with it?
There is a difference between saying God can perform miracles.
Of course, yeah.
God
And
can
also
perform.
via the prophets.
Sure,
they can.
sure. God can perform miracles. We both agree.
Yeah.
Both of us agree. I agree. God can perform miracles. But God can't get basic scientific details wrong.
God don't deal
Do
with
you
science.
do you hear what I'm saying?
God don't
You
deal
know,
with
let's put
human
it this way.
science.
You have two hands. Yeah. You have two hands. Now, it is true that
Which of
God.
the science? Which science?
Now, please-
To be specific. Which
Please,
science are we
please.
talking about?
It is true that God can suddenly give you, there's nothing preventing, if He wanted to give you one more hand, for example. God can do it. Yeah.
He can do it, but he... Yeah,
Once-
okay.
He can do it, yeah.
Yeah.
But God can give you an additional hand right now, which would be clearly a miracle.
Yeah.
But God can't come here and say you only have one hand. He can't do that.
Yeah, but that analogy
Because
is flawed.
hear what I'm
Because
saying?
nowhere in history
God
God
cannot.
gave a man three hands.
You know what?
So his analogy is flawed.
Adam,
It's a
I'm
flawed
focusing
analogy.
on you. Please. Please focus on
Yeah,
me.
but it's flawed.
This gentleman,
False.
this
The
gentleman,
analogy is false.
utterly clueless,
God never
has
gave
been
anybody
here
three
for
hands.
many.
Are you a Hindu?
So to you,
Are you a Hindu?
very simply,
So three hands
God
for Hinduism.
performing-
You cannot impose Hinduism on a Muslim.
Adam, if you're going to be distracted, I'll move away.
Then you can
I'll
go.
move away. So if
you can go if you want.
would you like to have a
Yeah, but
conversation? Sure, sure.
You can go.
All right,
Yeah,
okay.
you can go.
When you go home, please find out.
If God want to give you three
So
hands,
this is the problem we have. Basic science, terrible mistakes. Basic science.
God never give anybody three hands. That Hinduism, man.
God can perform miracles, but God can't make mistakes. It's basic science. Basic, simple to understand information.